What's going on, guys? Funderful here, and I'm in Destiny 2. I think the second to last video I uploaded was Destiny 2, and y'all are just gonna have to live with how much distance there's gonna be in between videos. But today we're going to be having more of a laid-back video. Maybe not that much editing. I wanted to make it so that you can just put this in the background and listen to my thoughts, not exactly see what's going on. I'm just going to be playing some quick play in the background because I need to get my goddamn Jade Rabbit Catalyst done. I'm at 230 of 250 precision shots. That's besides the point. Today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Season of Opulence from a complete, I wouldn't say complete, but a big Destiny nerd. I've been playing for, I guess since the game launched, maybe a little bit of beta. And I've kind of stuck with it. I've gone away and come back every now and then, but yeah, my thoughts on Activision coming away and how much difference that's going to make from for Destiny as a franchise going in the future, especially with the addition of Shadowkeep, which if you just want to hear my thoughts layman's terms, I'm excited, but also warily excited. I'm not sure. It should be good, but I still have some things about maybe they're just recycling all of the content. And I know Dado asked a question similar to that in their live stream, but I still can't help but feel like there's something in there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and load up the quick play playlist, and I'll see you guys in the Crucible when I actually find a game in 12 years. As a side note, as we're flying into Convergence here, actually kind of a problem as to why I haven't recorded a video in so long. I've been wanting to make a whole bunch of Destiny videos, but the problem was I couldn't find a way to record Destiny while I was in full screen. It never decided to, and now for whatever reason it does. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, so I would have to put it into borderless windowed, and that would make my mouse and aim by extension really shaky and just difficult to control. It was different from what I was used to, so that was a problem when came in recording. But let's actually get into the real content, boys. So first I want to talk about Season of Opulence, or more importantly, how I compare it to the rest of the seasons that we've gotten thus far, and comparing it to the rest of those. So as it goes, from what I've played, and I let it be known I have not played that much of Season of Opulence. It did just release a few days ago, but I have tried a little bit of the raid, and I've done a few runs of the menagerie, or however you say it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a French word of some sort. But yeah, the menagerie is loads of fun. I feel I've only done it as a solo player, so I have yet to see how good it is when you do it with a whole bunch of people. I'm not sure if I kind of feel like it would be pretty easy, but of course that's the whole point, and I think making it easier is not exactly going to net better rewards, and I'm pretty sure that was the point of the menagerie, was to, if you came in with a full 6 stack, you're not going to get better rewards. Instead, you're going to get those rewards faster, so that a solo player with enough dedication could still get the same rewards, which I am a total supporter of, because I am the most of the time a solo player, but I will go find a team on LFG every now and then. Talking about the entire experience in total, coming up from Season of the Drifter and Season of the Forge, I was not exactly a fan of Season of the Forge. I really hated that we went from this whole, well actually no, to start, the freaking rotation of the weapons sucked, because you would have to I'm pretty sure at Ada 1, however you say it, she didn't sell the machine gun. She sold the machine gun the first week, and then we waited 4 weeks after that, and we did not get it once for the entire season after that, which was a bummer. And they fixed that now, so I really can't complain about it, but at the time, it was kind of a nuisance, and it was one of the factors why I didn't really overall enjoy Season of the Forge in its entirety. And beyond that, the forges themselves are fun. I think they're fun. They're kind of a play in the background kind of activity, and they net really cool rewards with secret perks, and the mods were nice, but I think my problem with it was mostly because of the fact that we had all of these forges, right? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there's 4, maybe 3. I can't remember at this point. It's been so long since I've done them. It honestly feels like an eternity ago, considering all the balance changes we've gotten, stuff like that. But the new weapons, but the problem with it was player population. So we would have our new forge, so we would get the Earth one, you know what I'm talking about, the first Earth one, when it first released. And when that dropped, it was actually pretty great. I mean, we were under-leveled, but after they fixed that, there's good time. And then we got the second one out, and then the player population was kind of divided, so we had like half the people playing forges in Earth, and then we had the second one on Nessus, I believe it is. And then we were, that's where I started to see the problem of people getting kind of drowned out. And by that I mean, you're not seeing as many people. So you'd get thrown into instances of a forge where it's just you, and it becomes really, really, really frustrating when you want to like complete a quest, or you need to do a certain frame at a certain place. So then you would be forced to go get a team. And the last thing that you want to do is you want to go find a team for something that you feel should be an easy or maybe casual activity. And as the season went on, we had more and more forges unlocked, and that is a good thing. I like the forges, but that means that the community would just go on to the next forge, and the previous forges would just be completely empty, save for maybe a few people in the first one, because, you know, they maybe started out and they won their machine gun. Overall, my feelings for Season of the Forge was pretty mixed, back and forth. At the same time, I wanted to really, really like the Forge's activity, but you can't really like them if you can't play them, you know? Because there were so many people that were just only in the newest Forge, and if you wanted to go back and get a weapon that required a previous Forge, there just would not be anyone there. And then you would have to go get a fire team of your own, and then you'd be kind of frustrated, because it can be annoying to do that every now and then, because at the time the player population was kind of dwindling, not gonna lie. So next was the Season of the Drifter, and that introduced the Gambit Prime and the Reckoning, which were great events. Although I feel like the Gambit Prime Reckoning kind of gameplay loop is a great idea in theory. The Season of the Drifter failed to support either other core focuses of the game, i.e. like strikes or Crucible, in no way whatsoever. So if you were a Gambit player, it's a great season, awesome season. You know, you got Gambit Prime, you got new exotic quests to chase after, you know, Drifter lore if you're into that kind of stuff. But if you were a hardcore Crucible fan, you're like, hey, you got a pinnacle weapon, you want more? No, it's not allowed. As a Crucible player, I think Season of the Drifter was kind of fun, because, you know, there is a PvP portion of Gambit that I do like. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but yeah. So I would kind of try to lean into Gambit Prime, because that's what everyone else was playing at the time, and that's where all the player population was. And I tried it out. I had decent success with it. I think it's pretty fun, although it's just not my kind of game. And obviously, it depends what kind of person you are, what game modes you like, and that would basically dictate whether or not you liked Season of the Drifter. And then, of course, we got the poor PvE souls. Absolutely nothing, except for the raid in Black Armory, which I kind of failed to talk about, but honestly, I haven't even played it yet, if that's a testament to how irrelevant I think it is. I was really, really scared for the future of Season of Opulence, and once they showed the kind of roadmap, I was pretty optimistic. I saw, oh, we got this new exotic weapon coming out, we got a new event. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, I can't remember at the moment, but I'm sure it's gonna be great, because now I'm really, really hopeful for Season of Opulence, because it seems that they have learned from both of the mistakes that they have, well, not mistakes, but kind of failures. I wouldn't exactly call them mistakes, because they were not massive, but they did definitely impact the seasons, because there is such little content, and they have to learn how to spread that out properly to satisfy all sections of the player base. And what the Season of Opulence brings is the Chalice of Opulence, which I think you've heard way too much about already, so I'm not going to explain it. And then we've got the new raid. And on top of that, they have explained that they are going to be working on PvP, so I'm going to take their word for it, which is something I don't normally do when it comes to Bungie, but I'm going to take their word for it, because it definitely feels like with the new Vidoc that they showed out, that they are definitely going to start care about PvP more, and give it a little bit of love, especially considering we've seen some more PvP maps returning, like Widow's Court, which seems great. Loved that map. honestly, Season of Opulence thus far doesn't look like it's actually getting any physical improvements to PvP other than a pinnacle weapon, which is the Revoker. Other than that, it's actually not going to get that much, but that's not concerning me that much because according to Bungie, they are actively working on that. They're going to turn Crucible Labs into an actual game mode instead of taking it out of the game. Most importantly, Season of Opulence brings a great balance to the gameplay loop and gives the player choice of what they want to do without forcing you to play certain activity that maybe you don't like to gain the new rewards and gear and weapons. So from what I can tell, Bungie has definitely learned from how to do a season pass and how to make that kind of content spread out for the entirety of the game for all the basic activities. So we're talking like Crucible, Strikes, Gambit, which is now staple, I'm assuming. But while still adding like new content, so like Gambit Prime. I don't know if you would qualify that as building on top. A better example would be the Forges or the Menagerie, which is interesting, and its gameplay loop still allows you to go back and play some of your favorite core activities, because the Chalice of Opulence requires that you play an activity of your choice, which is absolutely crucial, and it definitely shows that Bungie wants us to go out and play, hey, you know, like, play what you want to play. Play what you like in Destiny, and you can still get these new cool rewards. And honestly, I think that's great. The Bungie that we used to know, I think with Activision, is different. That's yet to be seen. I think we can confirm that once Shadowkeep releases and we see the quality or maybe the direction they take with it. But I definitely am almost positive that Activision being over there and oversighting what Bungie is doing definitely made a difference to the kind of content and business model they are producing. Speaking of which, that transitions us perfectly into New Light and Shadowkeep, which is stuff that was revealed just a few days ago. I don't want to go over and gloss over the kinds of stuff that was thrown at us, because there are plenty of other sources of information for you to grab that from. So instead, I'm going to be talking about the kind of my feelings about the direction they're going to be taking. Especially, a lot of people have highlighted this, their use of actually qualifying Destiny as an action MMO, which is really interesting because I've always felt like Destiny just wants to be an MMO light of some sort. The most interesting part of Destiny, all the way back in 2014, was definitely the raiding section, because that made you feel like, dang, like I'm part of this expanded world and we're working together to accomplish this goal. And that felt as close as we've ever gotten to an MMO on a console. And that's what definitely made Destiny special for me in the first place. And to see that they're definitely going to go back and expand that and turn it even more into that, more expanding the RPG aspects, giving you more customization, giving you more of those like, I want to customize my dude so he's special in his own way. I think that's great, and I think they're definitely trying to add on to what makes the Destiny experience different from just a random shooter. So I'm going to talk specifically about New Light and the kind of goals they're trying to meet with New Light. New Light is like free to play that they're putting on Steam, which, by the way, it's like Destiny in its entirety is going to Steam, but New Light is their free to play, and the whole point of it, or at least from what I can tell from the vidoc, is to open up Destiny to new players. And this can never be like as true to heart for me, because they're talking about like, oh dang dude, like you're gonna have to grind like 40 hours and then you're gonna have to buy all of the expansion packs if you just want to play with us. And they totally understood, or at least my situation, because I have plenty of friends that are like, oh, they're playing Rainbow Six Siege, they're playing CSGO, you know, they're playing Fortnite and stuff like that, and they look definitely interested in Destiny because it's a very unique experience, but I just really can't recommend it to them because of the entry point. And I think their goal is to, in the process of MMOing question mark, kind of expanding the MMO aspect, is to lower the entry barrier, and I think that's really important for Destiny's growth, towards the future, because it's going to give more people a chance to experience what Destiny has to offer before actually committing and buying stuff for it. And I think that's great, because you can just say, yo homie, you just want to play some Destiny? It's free, come on man. And you can just go in and maybe they'll get hooked, maybe they'll buy the expansions, and maybe you get to go raiding together and stuff like that and have a great time, because you know, you get all year one content. That's a decent chunk. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. That's at least like 20 hours of content. It seems like what New Light is trying to achieve is to give people that don't want to go through the entry barrier of Destiny to still experience what Destiny has to offer, because it's a really unique experience. And I think that if you like shooters and you kind of like grinding, you kind of like, you know, Halo-esque shooters, you'll like Destiny. And the problem is that a lot of people can't go try it out because there's such a high entry barrier. And what removing this is going to do, I think it's going to increase the player base, and not just like new players. We're talking people that they get hooked because of New Light, and from there we're getting more serious players. That means like we're increasing the end game a whole bunch, and just the overall community. I think it's a great idea for Destiny in the future, especially considering the path that they're taking going forward to increase the MMO aspect of the game itself. So speaking on Shadowkeep and what lies ahead for the rest of Destiny, or whatever we're going to get for Destiny 2 or possibly Destiny 3, I personally think Shadowkeep is going to be somewhere within the realm of Rise of Iron and Forsaken levels of content, somewhere in that middle ground, because Rise of Iron was $30 and Forsaken was $40, and since Shadowkeep is $35, I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that we're going to get somewhere in that middle ground of content. I'm talking about seasons after Shadowkeep and the rest of Destiny. I really hope that with future seasons, instead of focusing to add more content, because we got a lot of that during the Forges, we got a lot of that for Gambit Prime, we got a lot of that for the Menagerie, I really hope that in the coming seasons after Shadowkeep releases, they're going to focus on maybe we have a Vanguard related season, and maybe we add a whole bunch more strikes, maybe we add like competitive strike racing, I don't know, whatever you guys can think up with. I just really hope that they take an approach to improve on the core aspects of the game, because that's the one thing that really needs to be helped before Destiny becomes this really, really good experience. I think that's the only thing that's essentially holding Destiny back at this point, aside that or in the high entry point, which is going to be solved by the introduction of New Light. And talking about what's going to happen to Destiny later in the future, I think their goal is probably going to be to completely MMOify Destiny and basically just rename Destiny 2 to Destiny and keep on building up of this annual pass, comet during September, and then repeat the cycle. And I think that would be a great option for Bungie to go towards, because not only is Destiny 2's engine, it holds up superbly today. It runs really, really well on older consoles and newer consoles. It looks great, and it honestly still feels really, really high quality. I feel like this game could be released today and the graphics would not be underwhelming. The second option that Bungie could potentially do is to release Destiny 3, whether within this year, maybe next year. If they were going to, I would assume that they'd probably do it 2021, maybe 2020. But that is yet to be shown. If they do D3, it's going to have to be a complete overhaul. They're going to have to change a whole bunch just to get the old player base back, for them to come back one more time, considering that they have basically made fun of people who have trusted Bungie 2 times thus far, considering Destiny's kind of rough launch and then Destiny 2's awful launch. So if they do choose to go for a D3, it's going to have to be so vastly different from the 2 previous games that it should still resemble Destiny, but they're going to have to show that, hey, we've changed, you know, maybe we don't have Activision here anymore, and we've changed because of that. The core Destiny experience is actually something that's worth playing. So yeah, I think that wraps up like basically everything I have to talk about Destiny. Maybe not Destiny PvP. I'll probably do some like live commentaries of Destiny PvP matches. Those will definitely not be as serious as this video. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.